The lives of all of us have today been profoundly changed. It's not yet possible to say exactly how much or in precisely which particulars, but they have been irrevocably changed. In these circumstances, I hope that I may be allowed a personal reaction, which perhaps will also be the reaction of some others. One's first feeling, of course, was that it was a dream, not real. After that came the dispiriting, hopeless feeling that it was banal, an absurdity, and that is the feeling that persists. Foreigners have been asking all day, how can you let this sort of thing happen? Well, we don't let it happen. Someone will someday have to say how a man with a high-powered rifle got into a building along the route in Dallas, but this is a country of 190 million people. Basically, it's true that if someone wants badly enough to kill the president, provided he's willing to take some risk himself, he has a very good chance of doing it. Such people are happily extremely rare, and we do not know at this moment who killed the president or why. We may say with justice that it was an act of insanity and the rest of us are sane. It has nevertheless brought us face to face with some unpleasant truths about ourselves. The main point that emerges from this day's events is that the United States is still a country of violence. Violence plays a part in our political life, and not only through assassination. We've seen that in the last 3 years and in the years before that. We are, some of us, in the habit of laughing at the Latin American nations for the way in which their governments turn over. A lot of them do turn over. Assassination, however, does not play a large part in their affairs. Latin American governments usually turn over without much killing. To pursue this point further, we are a people who worry a great deal about our image. It must be said that at this time our image is not a very desirable one. We do not appear today as an adult country. For what happened today is not an isolated incident. There were attempts against President Roosevelt and against President Truman in our own time. 3 presidents before Mr. Kennedy died at the hands of assassins. So we have a nation in which emotions run high and in which conflicts are often stark. These conflicts arise from a number of sources: regional, economic, racial, religious, and ethnic. The problem is to contain those conflicts and to reduce the influence of violence and the threat of violence in our politics. To do so, it seems to me, we must begin at the top, for the political climate of a nation is set in the main by its leading politicians. For a long time, the political climate of the United States has not been as healthy as it might be. That is because of the prevalence of name-calling, the easy automatic appeal to passion, and the impugning of motives. Now, we shall hear much in the next few days about the need to bind up the wounds of the nation and about the need for all Americans to stand together. We may treat those words as empty slogans or as real needs to be genuinely met. Whatever we do, there can be no guarantee that what happened today will not happen again. But what is within our power, we should do. And it is within our power to be more serious about our public life. If I may be permitted one more word, we will hear much in the next days and weeks about the continuity of our government. President Kennedy has been killed. President Johnson has taken over. The business of government goes on. We may draw some satisfaction from the fact that the business of government goes on, but it is not a cause for congratulation. It is what should be expected, even from what we Americans are tonight, a grossly diminished people.